Hi, hello, I'm Marina, that one girl that likes to talk a lot about houseplants, and welcome to Millennial Planter. And welcome to another plant vlog video, plant chores video, where we get all the plant chores done together. So if you have plant chores to do, go ahead, knock them out with me, because I know you have a lot to do, because I do, because the work is never done, especially when you have a lot of plants. Today I'm coming at you from my room, which I don't really show that often, but here we are today. We have some thirsty plants. I have some exciting updates to show you, and I really need to cut my what is that called, my Siltepecana, my Monstera Siltepecana, because, well, let's just take a look at her. But this is what the window's looking like these days. I don't want to show too much of the window outside, but the most exciting update I had was my Hoya Bella. She had put out 4 blooms all at once, and it was so exciting. It's always a huge goal of mine to get Hoya to bloom many blooms, so that when I'm looking up at it, I just see all these beautiful umbels of flowers. And that's exactly what Miss Bella gave me, which is so funny because she always had peduncles but never bloomed for me in my plant room until I moved her down here. I don't know why. Like, down here is probably lower humidity. She might get better light. Like, she gets more natural light down here than she does in my grow room or in my plant room, because in my plant room it's only grow light, so maybe that had something to do with it. But you can tell from these very limp leaves that she's thirsty. I also added my variegated string of hearts, which I just absolutely love how it looks. I need to desperately repot this Cebu Blue because she's always thirsty, but I'm putting that off. I actually might just go in and trim her roots instead of repotting her, because I don't know, I just don't want a bigger pot, honestly. Like, that'll be probably an 8-inch pot if I have to repot her, and an 8-inch pot's just not gonna look that cute here. I also ended up moving this bamboo rack I had here. I put it upstairs in the plant room when I rearranged the plant room, and now my Pastazanum is here. And my Pastazanum used to be really massive and big in this area, but it was like further over, so my kids kept hitting it, like I described in my last vlog actually. But I feel like now that it's more over, it's gonna have a lot more room to grow and nobody's gonna hit it. Also, I think I'm going to repot my elbow and put it upstairs with my other Syngoniums. Oh, look at that new leaf it just put out. I don't know what it is, but like, this elbow just does not grow well for me. So I'm probably just going to pot it up with the other Syngoniums I have. I made a huge pot of Syngoniums that are just all together. So I have like a 3 Kings up there, and a regular green one, and a green splash. And now I'll put my elbow all in one big pot. Also, y'all, I made my bed for you, so this is not an everyday thing. This is my Siltepecana. She's actually quite thirsty. She probably needs to be up potted too. And look at this cute little fenestration she had put out, but never put out. Oh, actually, she did put out another one, but that was it. I really want to work on fenestrating my Siltepecana one day, but I cut her because she was just getting way too long for the windowsill, and now she started putting out all these long runners, and I'm not sure why, because she's been in this spot for like a year and she's never put out runners like that. So I'm going to chop these back, way back. Also, that little aerial root there is attached to the windowsill. So funny. My sister and brother-in-law got me the cutest little gardening set. Oh, how adorable is that? It's like my own little toolbox, both gardening tools. I freaking love this. This is from Amazon, but I have these cute little shears to use now. There we go. And like, the quality is actually surprisingly really good. I love this. And purple is my favorite color, if you guys couldn't tell. So I think for the Siltepecana, I'm probably going to chop it like way down. Also, I probably should have watered it. Actually, you know what? That's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to water it. I have a few thirsty plants here, so I'm going to water it, wait a little bit, and then cut it, because I want to propagate those cuttings, and cuttings don't do well if the plant is like unwatered and it comes from a thirsty plant. It just has better chances when the plant is not thirsty and is healthy. So let's do that really quick. I always end up making the biggest mess when I water because most of these hanging plants don't have catch trays under them, which is something I should probably work on. So I just clean it up with a towel. Also check out this tendril on my queen, my Hoya Crimson Queen. Like, this thing comes all the way out, almost meeting my bed. So in the mornings when I'm really out of it, it does kind of scare me because I think it's a bug. But like, what are you doing, girl? Can you do something? Can you start like going down? Because you're not gonna reach anything over here. Oh my gosh, that is so comical. So here is that mixed pot of Syngonium I was just talking about. This is the Syngonium 3 Kings. This is the green splash that I imported, or was imported to me at the beginning of the year. So usually I don't like variety pots or mixed pots like this, but this Syngonium, like the regular green one, was so bare at the bottom. Like, this is all just bare vines, and I tried propagating some of it, so that's still propagating, but I just wanted to fill it out. And I just thought all the Syngoniums together would look great. I also don't have that many Syngoniums in my collection, so I figured why not. So now I have the elbow to put with it. I just don't know where I want to put it. Maybe I'll just put it like right in the middle. I actually did the repotting of this in my plant vlog video from last week, but it didn't film. So I'm gonna make sure it films this time around. Also, I did completely rearrange the plant room, so I can't wait to show you that next, and it feels so much better and so much roomier in here. I also made a dedicated area to my big moss poles and my big planks, so it's like a big plant energy corner, and I freaking love it. It was the best decision I ever made. Also, I've been putting off repotting my giant Calathea orbifolia that's outside, but I think I'm finally gonna get around to it tomorrow. It needs like a complete makeover. I gotta cut off some leaves because some slugs got into it, but it gets thirsty like every single day. Way thirstier than my other plants that are outside, and it's probably been in that pot for close to 2 years now. So I'm gonna repot that one finally tomorrow. Hopefully there's no bugs in it, because that's the worst part about putting plants outside, is all the bugs that get inside the pots. Let's see how the roots are on the Syngonium. I feel like Syngonium are one of the plants that I just don't grow that well. Like, I can make really happy Syngonium roots, but that's about it. They do struggle. It was attaching to the trellis? Whoa, look at that. It is stuck on that trellis, which is so crazy because this is treated wood, and typically like plants aren't supposed to attach to treated wood, but wow, that's actually very shocking. So yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, my Syngonium roots are always super healthy when I go and check on the roots to repot them, but like foliage wise, maybe I don't give them enough light. That could be a thing. Wow, look at that. See, this is what I mean, happy roots. Like, that is super, like, those are some pretty thick and juicy roots. Maybe even a little root bound. But why do you have only like 6 leaves? I don't understand. I don't understand. Okay, so I'm gonna have to completely dig up this Syngonium. I realized I probably should have shown you the plant room before I made a giant mess. But it is what it is. Wow. Look at the roots on that. Holy crap.
That's insane. So now I'm wondering if I should put it in this bigger pot. But this is the pot I was gonna put my Orbifolia in. Is this pot even bigger? Yes, the pot is way bigger. Orbifolia pot is going to have to wait. Again. This might be like a really bad idea because these roots are going to outgrow this pot in like, I don't even know, a few months. But we're gonna enjoy it while we can. There was a time when I didn't have any plant Velcro, so I used zip ties. Definitely gonna get rid of that. I'm definitely gonna have to make some more soil. Well, I guess we interrupt this program to make some soil. I still am using coco coir and I need to get my water. And the biggest downside to coco coir is that it takes forever to break apart, but it's also kind of fun. Also, one thing I started to do, so coco coir is like nutrientless. It has no natural nutrients to it, unlike soil. So to combat that, I've been mixing some of my fertilizer in with it. I see people do this with sphagnum moss because sphagnum moss is the same. And actually it was Harley, one of Harley's videos, that gave me that idea. So I figured why not start mixing it into my coco coir. I'm not sure if it actually helps, but it's nice to have that extra boost there just in case I go a period of time without fertilizing my plants. They'll be good. So now we just have to play the waiting game until this is done. Also, this smells so bad right now. While that's going, one thing I did want to do was check on my propagations, but what I did, I rearranged my Hoyas. So instead of having like a whole 2 shelves here, I put Hoyas here and I put Hoyas here. So now here I have like my trellised Hoyas, so it's easier for me to grab them without having to rearrange the entire shelf or like take the shelves apart and adjust them. And then here I have my smaller Hoyas, and then I moved a bunch of my philodendrons and like foliage babes down here. And I really like it so much more. I like the way that this flows. But let's check on the propagations and then I'll do a quick tour after. Also on my never-ending to-do list is to do something with my Campos Portuanum. I think I'm gonna like majorly chop it up and then have a hanging pot of them, and then make like 2 that are dedicated, 2 or 3 that are dedicated to growing up a pole. I'm feeling like a moss pole maybe, but I'm not sure. Especially since I have this little corner, it's gonna be so much easier to keep all of my poles and stuff together. So I haven't talked about this yet, but one of my Hoya Methyled vines ended up completely dying off. It was just super dehydrated all the time. I unpotted it, I checked for root mealies and everything was fine. So I don't know what happened, but I ended up cutting that vine off and I propagated it. I really thought they were going to die off because it wasn't that great of a vine, but like all of these now have so many little babies and a lot of them are rooted, so I might have to repot these, which is super exciting. I'm really happy for that and shocked. Wow, like these are doing way better than I expected. I also have just been propagating a lot of my Hoyas in moss or in soil because it's so much easier. I just pull soil out of my soil box and I put it in a container because with Hoyas and propagation, their #1 thing is humidity, as it is with most cuttings. So just put them in like a high humidity container. This is an old IHOP container, and some soil, and stick them in there, stick them in bright light, and you're good. Okay, my mom stopped by and I forgot where I left off, but I'm going to check on my next propagation box. Oh no. Don't fall. Look at how cute my little string of glory is. I can't believe I grew these from tiny cuttings. The Ceropegias just grow like weeds, I swear. All right, so this is box number 2. Oh, this is my Monstera that I can't remember how to pronounce. I think I'm gonna pop that one up. the second cutting just started to take off. So I'm gonna leave that in here. There's just a whole bunch of random stuff in this one. I have the leftover of my royal flush. Haven't really grown roots much, that's weird. I have 2 of the cutest little philodendron silver swords. Look at that. I had to chop up my giant silver sword because it got edema really bad, and now even the cuttings have edema, like some of the cuttings, not all of the cuttings. So I don't know what to do with silver swords. Let me know if you deal with that with silver swords and if you cured it somehow, because right now like all of mine are in a really chunky mix. I've even tried airflow because I had my big one downstairs in my bedroom. My bedroom has a ceiling fan that I always left on, and you could see like the foliage actually moving, so I knew it was getting airflow, and it still got edema. I don't know, but it was super annoying. So hopefully one of these cuttings will do all right. But is that not the cutest little thing ever? And that's the second one. So I want to wait for these roots to get a little longer before I pop those up. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them. But my serpents, I have been waiting forever, I feel like, for these serpents to root up, but their roots are so teeny tiny still. Oh God, potting up these serpents are gonna be so difficult because they're itty bitty. Oh, this one's actually pretty good. Ooh. We can pop that one right on up. I have a Hoya stick. I don't remember what Hoya this is that is in here. I don't know if it's going to do anything. I have propagated Hoya tendrils like this, just leaving them in my perlite prop bin. It takes literally forever, but it works. And then I have this carnosa. My carnosa was taking forever to grow, which is ironic because it's a carnosa, and carnosas is supposed to be one of the easiest, and surprisingly I never got one. And then somebody gifted me one last year in a plant trade, and it's just now putting out new growth, and that's because I cut it. I'm trying to find it. Oh, it's right here, right in front of my face. So look at that. It was just this long vine for the longest, and now it's putting out that new growth. So I think I'm gonna pot these up together and make one full plant. And then I'm going to definitely have to add some water to this. And then I have a rotundiflora. That's all right. That one could use some more roots as well. This is my Hoya elliptica. My Hoya elliptica took a really bad turn for the worst. It got sun bleached while it was in my grow tent, and then it just never really bounced back. I'm not sure why. So before I lost it, I just cut it in half, cut the bottom roots off, and rerooted it, and it seems like it's doing well. Oh, it is! I haven't really checked on it since I had it in here, but look at that little baby right there. The cutest little new growth. And then this one has a teeny tiny little leaf in there as well. I wonder, oh yeah. Whoa. Whoa, that is definitely ready to be rooted. Y'all, I'm telling you, like, I know perlite has always been my thing, but try soil propagations with Hoyas. Like, this is insane. Holy crap. Oh, and now I'm gonna have 2 ellipticas. I'm so happy. Okay, so you see this one's not as rooted, but that's still pretty rooted. Like, I'm going to pop that one up as well. I feel comfortable enough. And once again, I did have some perlite at the bottom because I think this was a perlite prop before, and then I topped it off with soil. I wetted enough so that everything was like moist, but it wasn't sopping wet. And I covered it, put it underneath bright light. The top of this container did have holes in it so that some air can get in, but it's a foolproof method. How perfect, so perfect. I think that's all my propagations. Also, check this out, my poor Pilea peperomoides. I think I'm gonna have to reroot this guy in water. I had a big one and I gave it to my friend. Yeah, I'm gonna reroot this one. and I ended up chopping the top of that one and keeping the top, and the top was rooted in water, and then now it's this. So we're just going to reroot that one. I feel like I might have bit off more than I can chew, but we can do this. And check out this coco coir. Look at how fat it is now. So I have pretty much broken up all. Oh crap. Dang it. Why? Seriously though? Story of my life. Ugh. Well, I was going to share. I have been soaking this coco coir for like 45 minutes now. And as much as I love cocoa, like I've been using cocoa as my base for all of my plants for over 2 years now, it can become very hydrophobic. So if you are a chronic underwaterer, I don't suggest using coco coir. This is a perfect example. As long as I've been soaking this cocoa, it is still like really dense and super dry on the inside. And I've noticed this with some of my friends that I've gifted plants to that have my cocoa mix. Their soil becomes super compacted, and that's because they don't have the same water tendencies that I do. I am an overwaterer notoriously, so that's something to keep in mind when you want to follow somebody's care or somebody's soil recipes. Just keep in mind of the type of water you are. And for that same reason, I don't like using soil because soil holds onto a lot of moisture, which is how I've rotted a lot of my plants. Okay, now that my hands look like this and I picked up most of the cocoa, I'm going to grab the rest of my soil amendments. And lately, actually for a while now, my go-to has been orchid bark and charcoal, and that's it. I don't really like using perlite in my soil because it does leave the soil compacted, like it all just floats to the top, and then the bottom of the soil is really compacted, so that's no bueno. I've kicked perlite to the curb, except for propagations. So there's that. So I may have gotten slightly overwhelmed and repotted everything off camera, sorry about that. But I ended up chopping up all of my Siltepecana, and I'm just gonna plant them in a pot with soil, and whatever happens, happens. I do have some of the Siltepecana still left that's potted downstairs, and then I also have another pot over here on my plant shelf. So these I'm literally just gonna stick in soil, stick them under a grow light in my plant room, and just see what happens. I think about 50% of them will make it. That's my guess, we'll see. I'll keep you all updated, but this is gonna be a very lush pot. And the aerial roots are nice and juicy on this, so I feel hopeful. I feel very hopeful. Also, I have soil everywhere, even though I picked it up. I have it all over my pants. I have some stuck in my acrylic. Oh man, this is the plant life, you know? Like, my plant room doesn't stay clean for not even 24 hours. I don't think it's ever stayed clean for 24 hours unless I don't come upstairs. So if you're like me, don't worry, you're not alone. And if you happen to keep your plant room clean for longer than 24 hours, then kudos to you. I posted on TikTok one time how people keep their plant rooms clean, being sarcastic, and people are like, we clean it, we use a Roomba, duh. And you know, that's just not the kind of people I need in my community. We're a hot mess over here and we embrace it, okay? I really think this pot would be so freaking cute if all of these cuttings make it. Now I'm just going to top it off with soil. I do not recommend this method. And I didn't even wait for the Monstera to finish hydrating itself, so if you can see, the plants are still very limp, which is not a good idea, but sometimes I make lists and I just have to get it all done, and that was one of those days. So today was one of those days. Probably because realistically I'm not going to be able to do any plant chores
or come in here for the next 2 days. I think that should be good. And I didn't even have enough soil amendment to make all of this super chunky like I like. So this is all pretty dense, but that works out because these are just cuttings. And you don't want your cuttings to get too dry while they're growing roots. Look at that hot mess express. Okay, I'll show you the other stuff. I ended up repotting my Esqueleto, my Monstera Esqueleto. I don't know. My Monstera Esqueleto, I ended up repotting. Look at that new leaf it's coming out with. It's so cute and the roots are so juicy. And then how cute does this Methilde look in this little like pink pot? I'll also have this link down below. It's on Amazon if you want to check it out. But I think that'll be really cute once they all trail over. That would be adorable actually. My ellipticas I potted together. My Monstera, she thirsty, so I'm gonna have to water her. Most of these, what is wrong with me today? Y'all, I need to just finish this video because why? Why am I like this? I don't understand. But like I was saying, most of these plants I am not going to water because this coco coir is really damp and I feel like that'll just like lead to root rot. So the Monstera I'll probably water, but not anything else. Probably for like the next 2 days when I come back up in here. And then this is the other Methilde that I ended up propagating, or that I ended up potting up, and you see that little peduncle there. One of these days I will get a Hoya Methilde flower and I cannot wait for that day. And then this was the Carnosa that I potted up. I put this part in there. So, I mean, it doesn't look like much now, but it will. It's all about the vision. All about the vision. And then, oh, the last one I had to show was my Syngonium pot. So, look how cute that looks. Looks a lot more full too. So we have the little albino, and then we have the three kings, and, or no, wait, hold on. We have the green splash, and then the three kings, and then the regular green Monstera. So I really like the way that it looks. I think it'll fill out really nice and hopefully full. Let's give it a couple months and see how it grows out. So now I'm going to clean up this disaster. A disaster, just everywhere. Soil, leaves, my pants. And then I'll show y'all the little area that I made. All right, so this is the new layout. So I ended up moving this bamboo stand from my room up here. And then that's my new little corner for all of my planks and moss poles and big plants. And I just really love the way that it looks. I think it looks adorable, and I think everything will grow in really cute and nice. And once the plants start to fill out their poles and planks more, it'll even look better. And then when they get super big, I'll remove the plant stands, and yeah, it'll just be like a whole foliage corner. So super excited about that. And this is everything over here. So everything is always just still a work in progress, but I really like the way that it looks, and I feel like everything has, like, I feel like the room has a lot more space. And this area, still don't know what I'm gonna do with that plant stand, but that's how it looks for now. And then I rearranged these shelves, but these are still the same. And then my grow tent I have up against that closet door that I couldn't even open to begin with. Also, here is the update on my queen. Still crinkled, but still looking really beautiful. I kind of like tilted her leaf out. Ugh. Maybe if I can like mold it to be straight, I don't know. But then look, I saw this freak of nature. The Backery is coming out with more seeds again, and this one looks like it's going to be a lot. It's insane. I don't understand that plant. My biggest thing that I don't like about this area is this light. Such an eyesore, but eventually I will save up to get a nice pretty pendant light, but for now how much is what we're dealing with. I just hope it's enough light to go over here. I might have to even bring it down more, but we'll see how everything is for now. And I also end up putting the humidifier right there, so I'm hoping that helps the plants, aerial roots attached to the planks, and I really hope it helps keep the moss poles moist longer, because I still cannot keep up with them. They get so dry so quickly, so I'm really hoping this helps, and also grouping them together, I hope that helps too. So we'll see. I'll keep y'all updated as always, especially when I do my update on poles versus planks. But friends, that officially wraps up this plant vlog for this week. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all enjoyed going down this hot mess express with me. I hope you all are staying safe, staying happy and healthy, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!